I'm always looking for ways to show my cat how much I love her. And with Fancy Feast gems, I can pamper her whenever I want with a savory gravy on top of a gourmet mousse pâté. The pyramid shape makes serving simple, so all I have to do is peel and plate to make mealtime feel extra fancy. And with 2 entrees in every pack, it's easy to turn every day into the extraordinary. Fancy Feast gems.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Enjoy complimentary access to the American Express Global Lounge Collection and a welcome offer of 200,000 points after you spend $20,000 on purchases on the card within your first 3 months of membership. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, a literary podcast where we deep dive into your favorite novels. This is Jack.
And I'm Amy.
And our listeners love to share their theories via social media and the form on our website. So we are sharing them via our weekly mini episodes.
This week, we're discussing Rowan Whitethorn and should we defend him or bash him?
The views expressed by the hosts are entirely their own and in no way represent the thoughts or intentions of the original author. This podcast is a discussion shared to spark thought and conversations on the characters and themes of this novel. The interpretations presented in this podcast are just a few of many possibilities. Listeners are encouraged to read along and share their own analysis of the text.
Though the hosts speak mostly within the constraints of this book, series spoilers may be discussed with or without warning. Explicit language, as well as themes of sex, violence, abuse, depression, self-harm, and death will recur throughout this podcast. Listener discretion is advised. If you're enjoying the podcast, check out our Patreon for more exclusive content. You can find us at patreon.com/booktalkforbooktalk.
We're doing mini episodes again.
Yeah, I mean, only because we have editors who can do the editing for us.
We used to do mini episodes. If anyone is newish, we used to do like our regular episodes and then we'd have listener thoughts and we would record it. Although I'm not going to lie, we're trying to stack these up in advance. So make sure you follow us on Instagram and then submit, because then we do circle back. We just might read yours later.
And quite frankly, we also don't get as many submissions as we used to. So if you have thoughts, like go to the form on our website. Those are where you don't have a character limit. You can write as much as you want, and we do read them, and we do try to incorporate them here.
Yeah. And my throat hurts.
Yeah, it sounds like your throat hurts.
It's going to warm up by the end, but right now it's like a little raspy.
So there's these moments where you sound like a 13-year-old boy whose voice is cracking.
Do you know how devastated I was when I was little when I found out girls' voices don't change like that?
Uh-huh.
I was so looking forward to having my voice crack.
Oh my gosh, why?
I don't know. I just was like, this is going to be the best thing ever. And then I found my mom was like, no, girls don't do that. And I was like, this is bullshit. This is the patriarchy again.
Never mind that it's actually biology.
Yeah, it's the patriarchy, Amy. Speaking of the patriarchy, Rowan. I am excited to analyze him this season because I don't know how I feel about him. Having just re-listened to Airfire recently, I still don't know how I feel about him. I had no impression of him back in the day. Like, I was so uninterested in him. There were so many other characters I wanted to see what their story was going to be about. But Rowan was just not one that ever did anything for me. But people ride for Rowan. They love him. And some of our most engaged and hot topics on social have been times where
we've had 2 videos. One where I say, he punched her, and you're like, well, he does give her a warning, and then I'm shocked. And then the other one is I do like a Hamilton, voiceover thing, and it's like things that I don't accept is Rowan punching Aelin. Like it's,
yeah.
And then the comments, people are so mad.
It's like the level of Tamlin where there's some huge defenders and then huge antis. It's the same level, but like take it up 3 notches.
I don't know. There's something about the defense of Rowan and the way people are so angry about it. You guys, someone did not like our video on TikTok so much so is that they left 18 comments long comments telling us about how wrong we are, how Aelin supported genocide, and then made a video against us and then tagging us. And I was like, thank you for the engagement.
It's so flattering that we elicited passion from you.
I know. And I'm kind of excited to analyze Heir of Fire because at this point we haven't started. And I remember the punch we talked about. It happens in like chapter 6 or 8. So I'm excited for us to get to that because I don't see it changing my mind. Like I don't.
Yeah. I mean, the punch is going to happen, I think, probably within the 2nd episode.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have to read the rest of the novel and try to find redeeming qualities of Rowan.
But that's what SJM does, right? Is that she sets up a character where they suck and then she redeems them.
Right. And I think the big defenders of Rowan are focused on the redemption side.
Versus saying, hey, there's no redemption if you're starting from great.
Right. Exactly. SJM does not start out with perfect characters. No character starts out like something you should put on a pedestal. No one is pedestal worthy at the start.
And the one time she tries to, not tries, but tricks us is with Tamlin.
Yeah.
And she's kind of tricking us, but the whole time it's like, actually not, So we have comments. And then I kind of want to go through some of the comments on that post because there was one today or yesterday that someone posted and they wrote, ugh, not the violence against women thing again.
What? Oh my God. Like, stop talking about rape. Stop talking about assault.
Oh my God. You're just like one of those people that's saying everything normalizes violence against women. Yeah, this punch does normalize it. I can't help you.
Wow. I was just going to say, and I don't mean to offend any of our listeners. However, sometimes women are their biggest and worst enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if not all women are on board, we're never going to win against the patriarchy.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that, this is me making such a broad assumption, but I just, I think our listeners are the best. But the listeners that responded that don't agree, that think that, they are cool with Rowan, responded so respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It just they were like, I can see that it's bad, but this is why I think Aelin might have deserved it, or here are the circumstances. And our listeners are superior to other people because there is just they responded and they have
receipts.
But even if it's not receipts, but they're thoughtful. You know what I mean? Someone might be like, okay, I can see what you're saying, but it's still I still ride for him. You know what I mean? It's just it never came in aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
The ones who came in aggressive do not follow us. They do not know what we're about.
No.
Go ahead and read Caesar's defense.
All right. Hitting her is not great at all. I think both Selena and Rowan initially don't have a good handle on their trauma at all. Now, obviously, he is old and has had time to process it, but I don't think he had the opportunity or reason to process it. I think the self-hate and guilt have had so long to fester, and his greatest hang-up is not being able to save Lyria, who was killed. Now, Selena tells him that his brothers should be slaughtered. I think at this point, they are the only ones he feels any connection to. His loyalty is to Maeve by force, and I think in truth, it is to the cadre. And I think that at this point, he has not done the necessary healing to keep a lid on his temperament. I can see how what Caesar's saying is Aelin hit a sore spot that Rowan has had his quote unquote mate killed and he was not able to help them. And now she's saying, well, yeah, all you Fae should just die anyway. And so I understand that being a sore spot and him reacting badly doesn't excuse the behavior on his part.
Yeah, but Caesar did a great job doing analysis, right? Where one of the things that she said was he hasn't had the time or space. Or, I mean, he has plenty of time, but he hasn't had the space to process it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's valid. You know what I mean? Like when we talk about characters, it's that analysis, right? It's the like, okay, well, he does this thing that me personally thinks is not great, is unforgivable. But like, let's understand where that comes from, because once we can understand that, we can see why SJM is going to redeem him.
Right. And why Aelin will ultimately excuse him for that early behavior.
Yeah.
So this is Caesar's next comment. Speculation. I wonder if something in Rowan could sense the connection to Aelin. Maybe she feels like a threat to the time he has spent mourning Lyria and punishing himself. He has a lot of reasons to dislike her, and at this point, still a lot of misconceptions he is projecting onto her, which exacerbate the short leash he has on himself. Anyway, to be clear, I don't think it's fine that he hit her. I think that it is a mistake he makes, and generally, I appreciate characters who make believable mistakes. But it should have been addressed later on and not glossed over or moved on as if it wasn't a problem.
You know, this is why I love our listeners, because what a well thought out message. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, there should have been more time to discuss it. There should have been space in the book to discuss it. You know, was SJM trying to do too much? Did she introduce too many characters? I personally think that's what it's going to become, or what it ends up like becoming. And this is a great example of that.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Some people I remember in the comments, which I was surprised about when like in defense of Rowan, were saying, well, Rhys hurt Farah under the mountain when he squeezed her arm.
Yeah.
And I was like, which was also not okay. I don't know what we're missing here. Like, excuse me, this other man hurt another woman.
So it's okay.
And people forgive Rhys. And it's like, well,
we didn't.
I know, right? Like you can understand. And again, like say, hey, it grows. Also, if we want to get into the nitty gritty, Rhys hurt Farah to get her to agree so that he could save her. I'm not saying it's good, but if you want to play this game, Rowan hurt Aelin because he was mad. So, I mean, Rhys still could have saved Farah without doing this like bullshit bargain. But like, SJM needed content for the second book. So,
yeah.
All right, this one is from Hannah. This is tough because I agree a lot with what you said in a previous episode about perpetuating violence against women. But something else snags at me too. While they weren't in the training ring and there is a power play and he is much older, I think the relationship dynamic goes beyond that. Aelin has no respect for herself or others at times. She has little care for quite a bit. And some things you pointed out in the same episode is that she's trying to egg him on and is Fae, even though she is in her human form at that point, which I make a point to say because of how they act and their customs as compared to humans. I think it's important to think about how things reflect the real world and that we don't want to perpetuate defending violence. On the other hand, I think that it's fantasy. Like I said, she wanted to get under his skin, and sometimes I think it could have been self-inflicted. From the time we see Celaena meet Rowan, she does not want to fuck with him. She knows he is powerful. She doesn't care enough about anything to be sassy. And then suddenly she's trying to make him mad.
I think that is a good point because there is this sort of self-flagellation on Aelin's part. She is going to do a lot. She's at a really low point. She really hates herself. And now she's using Rowan as a tool to inflict pain. So I completely understand that. Rowan shouldn't have fallen for it, but I understand Aelin's role.
Aelin wanted that punch.
Yeah.
She wanted to be hurt. This is like when people do death by cop, when, suicide by cop or someone else and, egging someone on until they're provoking them. Like that is 100% true. And one thing a lot of people mentioned was the whole Fae custom thing. Because at one point, doesn't he like bite her too to assert dominance?
Yes, he does.
And that's like, yeah, I think that one also makes sense. But, there is that balance.
It's also a little sexy.
Yeah, like that's allowed, guys. No. He bit her neck. Okay, go on. But it is an interesting point when people talk about the fantasy aspect of it, because it's a hard balance. Like you want the fantasy, but you don't want to perpetuate something, which is why biting the neck is allowed. All right, Hannah continues. Honestly, if someone today said what Celaena did in our real world context, wouldn't we think I would totally hit them? I personally have been playing that in my head. Like, what if someone said that about slavery, about the Holocaust, right? Because what she says to Rowan is people like you make me understand why the king did what he did. So it was like if someone were to say that, but about Hitler, right? And that's horrible. Yeah. I'm trying to like get in the mindset of like, yeah, you know what? Punch that person. I still don't think punching a woman is okay. Selena did in a real world context. Does that mean you should? Perhaps not. Do they deserve it? Sure. I think that brings it back to the morality debate made in other seasons about when Selena loses her humanity due to killing. Is it okay to punch someone for saying something? Maybe not. But do they deserve it? Probably. So I think we could be seeing a couple of things. So I kind of want to take a beat before we go on that. And I just love our listeners so much. Because, it's like you're having a conversation with us.
Yeah. So let's think of it, because a number of people have compared, especially haters, have compared what Aelin says to the Holocaust. So if a woman walks up to a man and said, it's Jews like you.
Yeah, don't even finish the sentence because
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. But think of that context.
Yeah.
Does that man now have a right to punch that woman? I think what she said is atrocious and she should be held accountable for that kind of shit. I don't know that violence is the answer.
I mean, I think that Hannah says it well, where it's, do they deserve it? Yes, but should you? No. Does someone who have those types of beliefs, and there are plenty of people out there who do they deserve to be knocked upside the head? Yeah, but like, can we do that? Can we perpetuate violence? No. Right now we're talking about violence against women. I also just say violence in general. Like, I think that there's so much violence in the world that there should be times that we clock it and say, is it worth it? Now, whenever I see kids acting out, I do lament on the fact that hitting minors is not allowed. You know, like we've all seen assholes in the malls or in stores where it's like just one good hit. Let me get one good hit in there, and then I'll fix them. Like, I think about it a lot.
Are you sure you want that to be aired in our podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, I wouldn't. It's just, have you not seen some of these videos of teens coming up to?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Let the world know how I feel about some of these assholes. But yeah, like one of my biggest fears is having like a little underage asshole coming up to me being like, what are you going to do about it? Because I can't hit them. It's one of my like biggest dilemmas in life. And then that's why you're good with your words and you tear them down and you say, this is why your parents don't love you.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to continue, Hannah. So I think we could be seeing a couple of things. One, Selena wanted to be hit or something equivalent. Girly tortures herself. Two, Rowan is treating Selena like Faye despite being in her human form, and they tend to demand more respect / have different ways of doing things. Doesn't make it right, but who decides what's right? Three, how long is it when she said what she said? Wouldn't we want to do the same as Rowan? I'm defending Rowan, but I also agree with your points. I think it's nuanced, especially considering it's fiction. I also say want to be hit as if in a destructive way. I honestly think overall both sides are a good argument. Back to a should he have hit? No. Does she deserve it? Yes. I forgot to add at the time, I'm saying this on my reread and I'm almost to that part again. I just had this cross my mind. This is a couple days after. I don't mean she wanted to get it as in she asked for it, more picking a fight when she explicitly said when she first saw him, yeah, she didn't want to fuck with him. You know, I get what you're saying. It's going to be a fun topic.
Yeah, what I like about it is on a small scale, it is a conundrum we face in society all the time.
Yeah.
In different ways. It's not just about, does a man have a right to hit a woman because she said something, unforgivable, or anybody said something that's unforgivable. It's, to me, it's the smaller form of like,
when people get doxxed online because they're racist and they did a horrible thing. So now their information is out there and they're getting death threats, and then their family gets harassed.
Right.
There's levels to it, right? Like, if someone's like says something horrible and racist, I think their employers deserve to know because they're interacting with different types of people. And, I think employers have a right to know what kind of people they've hired. Does that person deserve death threats? Do their families deserve death threats? Does their address deserve to be out there? No. Like, that's the hard thing, right? Like, the people who are horribly, horribly racist, homophobic, transphobic, everything, phobe, right? Or obic, is you want them to have their
comeuppance.
Yeah. I thought of that word and I was scared to say it out loud.
You're welcome.
And it's that constant like debate, right? When do people online, the internet warriors, take it too far?
Yeah, I completely agree. Are there any other DMs?
People are asking us if we're going to Romantasy Con next year.
In LA?
Yeah. Which I'm like, yes, we are, guys. So if you want to go. All right. I have another one.
All right. Leah says, about the punch, I don't think I can, that being defend him. But I will say, being under the thrall of Maeve for centuries and believing your one true mate died pregnant with your child would probably make anyone a very miserable and unlikable person. Do I think the punch was valid? No, especially not after listening to you guys. But I do think he was a good person at a point and that he goes through a large transition the longer he's around Aelin.
Yeah.
And that with her, he wants to be a better male. Yes, Maeve is obviously not a good person, and being one of her cadre for as long as he has probably rotted his conscience and morals because she was his main influence and she had zero morals and conscience. And I think that's completely valid.
Yeah.
Rowan not only doesn't give a shit about life, he's allowing himself to be imprisoned. He's not allowing, but he's subject to this imprisonment with Maeve and is allowing himself to be influenced by her and her actions and the way she does or does not value life.
Yeah.
It's nature versus nurture. And in this instance, he's acting on nurture. He's acting on what he's been taught and his apathy for 200 years versus the true Rowan underneath all the layers of grime.
Yeah, he's experienced his own abuse, you know, he's experienced his own captivity, and all of that builds a character. And just like we did with Rhys, with Dorian, Farah, Aelin, we got to tear down these characters. We have to see where she starts. You don't give nuance to a character you don't want to build out. So all of these are great points. We're going to continue to make them. We want to continue to hear your guys' thoughts on it, because the more we understand these nuances, the more I personally believe it's not for Aelin to forgive him. I think it's up to the author to make the reader forgive him.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true.
Thank you. Came up with it out of my ass just now, but it feels right.
Shall we read some other defenses of Rowan?
Yeah. This is from Isabel. To be honest, I think he's a better person than Rhys just based off of how Rhys treated Farah in Silver Flames and how he treated Asriel regarding Elaine. I just reread Air of Fire, and I know Jack hates him because he punches Selena in the face on her first night at Mistward, but hear me out. I think part of Selena was wanting a fight to continue to prove to herself that she is a piece of shit. Not that this is an excuse to hit her, but she and Rowan are very broken for most of Air of Fire and is always choosing violence instead of talking. And I think that was their primary form of communication for a good chunk of the book. If Selena can forgive him, then we can too. Yeah, I mean, our goal is to, I mean, not us, I will hold grudges forever because I'm petty. But the goal is to get the readers to forgive. And, you know, it's so funny, the bringing in Rhys stuff.
Yeah, well, and I can see how, I'm going to try and talk about this from SJM's role as the author. She doesn't want to set up a dynamic that is like Dorian or Chaol. And neither of those are true, like, enemies to lovers. I wouldn't classify Rowan and Aelin as enemies to lovers either. However, it is the closest SJM has gotten out of the three men with Aelin. And for me, that's like SJM trying to not show her cards very quickly about the relationship Aelin's going to develop with Rowan. So I can see how, from an author point of view, she wanted there to be hatred and tension so that she could unravel that later.
We know that initially SJM didn't plan on Rowan being her love interest, that he was supposed to be this kind of like sage to her.
Yeah, mentor.
And I think that you're right, the whole enemies to lovers thing. And I'm going to say something and people might be like, Jack, you're defending Rowan. No, I'm just understanding the characters. I don't think Selena would have respected Rowan if he hadn't hit her.
Yeah, it's honestly very true.
I think that's part of the reason why she loves him. You know what I mean? Like, I think, again, two things can be true. I think Selena needed that for her to respect him because Chaol, if you think about it this way, Dorian would never hit her, mainly because he doesn't know how to throw a punch. 2, Chaol was probably the closest one to actually physically challenge her. And we know he kicked her ass, but like on the training field, right? Like it wasn't an actual ass whooping. And then the last time they really fought, she kicked his ass.
Mm-hmm.
I think Aelin herself needed that like man to be stronger than her. I think that's probably her face side, the only way she can respect him.
Yeah.
But both things can be true, and I can still not like it.
I think you're absolutely right. I see how Aelin craved an authority figure.
Yeah. Got to get that Arrowbin figure in there.
And that's what Rowan provided her.
Yeah.
And someone who outdid her, right? Her ego was so large that no one outdid her until she met Rowan.
And the only reason why Kale bested her at the beginning is because she was in Dovir for a year.
Right.
You know what? I can't wait to like fuck with people's minds again. If we thought Kale represented Arrowbin.
Oh, Rowan.
The true Arrowbin's coming in. It's let's get all the daddy issues.
I found another one.
In our DMs?
Yeah.
Nice.
Plot twist, it's an ad break, but we promise it is still canon. With the holidays coming up, it's really important that I eat healthy. Otherwise, it's a slippery slope downhill.
It's also important that I make time to eat healthy. And the problem is I don't have time for that. And thank goodness for Factor and their chef prepped, dietitian approved meals make it so easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious no matter how hectic the season gets.
I had Factor meals for 4 months last year. I plan to do it again this year. They've got more meals. They've got more variety. I'm so excited for all the new choices.
It also supports your wellness goals. I'm on a GLP-1, and the fact that they have GLP-1 friendly meals and new Mediterranean diet options packed with protein and good for you fats. I can't tell you how hard it is for me to find motivation to actually make myself something.
90% of my diet is Asian food. And for the first time, they've got Asian inspired meals with bold flavors from China and Thailand and India and so many other places.
From more choices to better nutrition, that's why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. Feel the difference no matter your routine.
Eat smart at factormeals.com/booktalk50 off and use code booktalk50 off, BOOKTALK 50 OFF to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a year.
That's code BOOKTALK50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year.
Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor.
Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Fall vibes mean loafer vibes means I have cute outfits, which means I need to be comfortable in my shoes. And thank goodness for Vionic's Uptown Loafer.
I'm in love with Vionic's Winnie sneaker. It's perfect. It's timeless. And I am so comfy. I wear it to work and everybody is commenting on my shoes.
Genuinely, we're so obsessed with Vionics that Amy and I also got the exact same Willa 2.0 shoes too.
Because we're those people.
We're those people who have to have matching comfy shoes that look good.
What I love about shopping Vionic online is that I don't know if I need a medium or wide, and their fit guide tells you how big the toe box is of every shoe.
Vionic began by revolutionizing medical orthotics. Today, they continue to use that science to engineer shoes that leave you feeling energized and confident.
They even offer a 30-day guarantee. Wear them, love them, or return them for a full refund within 30 days.
You have to understand, I am fully willing to sacrifice the comfort of my shoes if I look cute, and I do not have to do that here. I get to be cute and I get to be comfy. I have hacked life.
Especially for me, I have back pain. I need orthotics. This is a great solution in minimizing my back pain. Use code BOOKTALK at checkout for 15% off for your entire order at vionicshoes.com when you log into your account.
It's a one-time use only and use code BOOKTALK at checkout for 15% off your entire order. That's BOOKTALK.
This is from Alyssa. Sorry if I said your name incorrectly. Rowan isn't human. In his world, sharp discipline, violence, etc. isn't always viewed as abuse. It's hard. It's part of him, part of warrior culture. When I first read the heated part in this book, of course it didn't sit well with me. But I felt Rowan was treating Aelin like he would anyone else. Harsh, direct, and with violence. For me, it was a sign of respect, like he recognized her strength. His cruelty was like, hey girl, cut your shit. This won't go well here. He didn't coddle her. Was it far-fetched that he slapped her? He punched her.
He punched her.
Yes, in the grand scheme of things and our reality, yes. But it made sense in that part of the book, even if we know it as something wrong. I don't know what to tell you. She was refusing to face her trauma. He wanted to snap her out, so it was like a wake-up call. And this is the way of the Fae, how they interact, sparring dominance. I never saw the slap. It's not a slap, it's a punch. I never saw the punch as a man striking a woman. It was a warrior punching another warrior. He always treated her like an equal, both in training and outside of it. He wouldn't hold back with anyone who he thought of as a weak warrior, human or Fae. And even if this scene is hard and uncomfortable, for me, it's a turning point. And not because a man uses violence against a woman. It doesn't glorify that. For me, it makes Aelin trust that this guy can literally break her down to the point that she has to face her grief. This brutal training will help her find her way toward healing because, let's face it, it's the only way she learned since she was a child with the asshole Arabin. For her, raw confrontation is honesty. And finally, this never happens again. We have no repetition. Their dynamic evolves. So you could see it as flawed, but I'm intrigued to hear, how would you shape this scene? How would you write him differently to start their bond? Can't wait for these episodes.
Okay, 2 points I want to cover. One is going to be respect, and the other one, I'm going to say this one first. I'm sorry, Elise, I don't want to be picking on you. There's going to be many people who have your similar thoughts, but I will say downgrading it to slap versus punching is normalizing violence against women. That's what we're doing immediately. Like, that's reflecting on it and calling it a slap versus a punch. That's normalization. The second point I would say is I personally don't believe it was a sign of respect. It was Rowan taking out his anger. And that's where, it wasn't a like slap you out of your, get back in here, you're hysterical woman type situation. She hit a sore spot. He hit her out of his anger and pettiness.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between the two. And those are the nuance aspects. So yeah, those were the 2 points, but anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah. So I'm kind of hung up on the, how would you do it differently? And I could see it still being violent.
Yeah.
Without it resulting in Aelin being punched, right? In my mind, he could throw her up against a wall and punch right next to her head and break the wall next to her head. That's terrifying, right? It's still violent. It's still not okay that he threw her up against a wall because it's still violence towards her, but it's not punching her directly in the face.
Go into the ring and fight it out.
Yeah.
By going into the ring, you are entering a space where she's consenting.
Yeah.
That's my thing. You want him to kick her ass? By all means.
Yeah.
Go for it. You want him to treat her like a warrior and to respect her on that level and to show that she's just like she's a warrior. She's just like any other Fae, even though she's in her human form. But she should be treated just like that. Okay. In the ring, they weren't in the ring. They weren't training yet. If we want to be able to say that you're not normalizing violence against women and this is a space where it's quote unquote allowed and can be expected and she can defend herself. Now, he could kick her ass and she could not fight back.
Yeah.
And then he's disgusted with her and she's disgusted with himself. If I were to do it, all right, ready, guys? Welcome to my version, Jack's version, JV. So she says that to him. He gets really quiet and he says, get in the ring, Aelin. They get into the ring and they start fighting and she barely fights back. If anything, then all of a sudden he starts realizing that he gets a couple of good punches in there and he realizes that she's not fighting back. So he stops and she starts screaming at him, hit me, because she's wants it. So he knows the best way to hurt her is to walk away while she's sitting there screaming, begging to be hit.
I think that's super powerful. And it also signals Aelin's self-destructive nature at this time to the reader, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is a point SJM could, at this current moment, having not begun the analysis, I think SJM should have driven home more.
Yeah.
Is how badly Aelin, it's not just about the drinking and avoiding, her duty. It's more than that.
This is the third book of self-hatred. You know what I mean? It's she didn't enter the series feeling good about herself.
Right. Exactly. Now, Elisa, Jack is not speaking towards you specifically because there are a lot of people that have expressed this exact same viewpoint.
Yeah.
So when she says you, it's the royal you of everybody.
Yeah. Everyone who believes the same thing as you. This isn't an attack or at all. And like, again, everyone's point of views are valid. And I'll double down. Like, her character needed to be hit by Rowan. I think that's the only way she would have respected him.
That's completely right, because it's not about him respecting her. It's about her learning to respect him.
Yeah.
That's the difference for me.
And it's about starting him low, right?
Right.
We're starting them both low. Neither of them respect themselves or each other.
Yep.
You can't respect the person you're with if you can't respect yourself.
Exactly. And again, at the end of the day, that's a choice the author made.
Yeah.
So if we're going to be mad at anybody, be mad at SJM that's the route she chose.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important actually that, okay, I'm going to attempt to defend Elise by talking about the writing choices. If SJM had chosen for Rowan to say, respect Aelin enough to say, okay, Aelin, get in the ring. We're going to fight this out. He wouldn't be low enough for her to recover him, essentially. He would already be
above, like, too developed.
Yeah, too developed, too redeemable. And at this point, he's a lost soul. Like, there's nothing redeemable about him. He doesn't want to be redeemed. So I understand from a writing point of view that his choice to hit Aelin shows a lack of respect and makes him difficult to redeem. And SJM loves a challenge.
Yeah. We just have to identify that that's what she's doing.
Right, exactly.
Him punching her, not a slap, punch, is showing a lack of respect, is showing a loss of control, is showing a need for redemption. And just because he ends up being redeemed in the end doesn't mean that this specific act, just because Aelin needs it, just because this is how the storyline goes, I agree that plot-wise, character-wise, it makes sense. Me personally, I don't like it. I think there could have been other ways to, he could have threatened violence, and everything. You know what, guys? Do you want me to be an asshole? Because I'll do it. I'll be it. Tamlin never hit Farah. He exploded with anger, and those things went at her. Tamlin never hit Farah. And if we're going to use this logic, that means everyone has to be ready to forgive Tamlin.
Exactly.
And I can hear people being like, Rowan didn't abuse her. It's not the same. Tamlin had her in a home and locked up. And, and yes, I hear all those things. I know all those things. But if I'm just throwing a wrench in here, and wrenches deserve to be thrown because that is the nature of literature.
Yeah. I think it's important to point out when we're putting blinders on because we like this character versus putting blinders on because we don't like this character because we haven't seen his redemption yet, right? We all know Rowan is redeemed, therefore we like him. We know Dorian is redeemed, so we like him.
Yeah.
Dorian was an asshole in book 1.
He sucked. He sucked hard.
And people were mad that we were calling him out. But this is not Dorian of Kingdom of Ash.
No.
This is not Rowan of Kingdom of Ash.
Yeah. And it's okay that what he does is not okay.
Yeah.
All right. That was just the DMs.
I know. We haven't even gotten to all the other comments.
All right. Let's mix things up. Let's read some people who don't defend Rowan.
Okay.
All right. We have to make it seem like, I will say the defense of him is way stronger. And we haven't even read the comments from
the defense. I know.
Or no, just the comments on the Instagram posts that we've done.
Yeah.
One day, maybe we'll do a mini episode, just that one of reading comments. This is from Allie. Homie was real quick to hate Aelin for no particular reason.
It's so true. But again, it's because he's just in a dark hole and he's a shit person right now.
Yep.
Someone says, you never hit a woman. And I don't understand how he goes from uncaring to love within the span of a book. I completely agree. It's going to have to do with respect. And it's questionable whether it is love or if it's camaraderie.
Or they're just mates. I mean, I'm trying to find the comment because someone was like, oh, here it is. This is from Jane. 0 personality, 0 chemistry. Aelin deserved more than a blank space.
I agree.
But that's the thing is I could not tell you Rowan's personality at all.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Very boring. Several people said that. Here's another point from Sierra. An old man attracted to a 19-year-old girl. It's gross.
It is gross. SJM and her gross men.
Yeah. Like someone says, agrees with that. He's literally hundreds of years old, adult, and should have the art of restraint perfected.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it doesn't matter how shitty your situation is. After hundreds of years, you should have some level of maturity.
I realized I did the math of how long I've had my period. I was like, oh my God, over 2 decades. Wow. And
older than Aelin. You've had your period longer than Aelin's been alive.
No, I know what you said.
I'm sorry.
No, I know exactly what you said. My silence was not out of confusion. It was out of anger. Anyway.
You said over 2 decades.
You did not need to bring that in. You did not need to bring that in.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's fine. You're just a horrible friend.
I'm just putting Rowan and Aelin in perspective.
By using my age.
Your eggs.
Leave my eggs alone. You know I want them. You know I want kids.
I know.
This is triggering. Okay, so where I was going with that is when it's time for my period, my hormones kick in and I'm feeling really emotional. Yeah, I'll cry. Yeah, I'll feel a little short. But do I go around throwing punches? No, because I have had my period for just 2 decades and I've managed to figure out restraint.
Yeah.
If I can do that, you can do that, Rowan. Do you have other ones? Because I'm just rapid firing.
Yes, I do. Actually, I want to go back to what you were saying.
Oh, yeah.
Because in the defense, someone left a comment, and I think it's perfect based on what you just said. He's just a boy. And that excuse is used so much for men in our society and for men in fictional books. And it's just like, no, his gender does not give him the excuse to act the way he is acting.
That is part of normalizing violence against women. By underplaying what men do and their restraint and their capability of their restraint, that is normalizing violence against women.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite ones. This is from Liv. Whispers slowly. Abuser?
The one you read, did you read her follow-up? I've seen teenage boys with more maturity and restraint.
No. That's amazing. Someone else says, why couldn't the punch have been something else brutal like an insult or using his magic? Yeah, I think words will always have a bigger impact. I think physical blows, punching will never mean as much. Like it means more in the sense of, whoa, that's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think him saying something horrific back to her would have done more damage and I think is more acceptable for me.
So we've got 2 interesting contrasting comments in the bash Rowan section. One person says, never. He's an asshole and that's why I love him. Perfect. Loves only her character. So I guess that's a trope. He is a trope. On the other side, hot take. I think he's a doormat for the majority of the series.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
This one's really interesting from Eddie. Wasn't there a part mentioning him and Lorcan in the past murdering, raping, and partying?
I think so.
If there is a slight hint of like casual murder or casual raping, not that there's not a casual raping, but like I will never let this go. I will be so insufferable. You guys will be so fucked with me.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in like Empire Storms or something.
You guys have seasons.
Yeah,
you've been warned.
I mean, I'll go looking. I've got the Kindle edition of all 8 books in one file.
If you find it by the time we do that episode of Air of Fire,
I will. Oh, I'm on a mission now.
I need my fully loaded over here. It's my mission to like tear Rowan down because we're going to build him up, baby. Or he's just going to be boring.
Yeah.
All right. Should we go into the defense of him?
Yes.
Read some rapid comments.
Yeah. Camilla says he's the best example of mates. He literally follows her where she goes without overwhelming her. He encourages Aelin to become the best version of herself and gives her space and total support. After punching her and hating her first, though, guys. That's my follow-up.
Yeah. Every good redemption arc needs a low point to start from. Rowan grows / heals post-punch. There we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it. So we have to establish the low.
Jane, we don't defend abusers in this house, fam.
Someone else says, Madeline, you convinced me he shouldn't hit her. There's no defense, only understanding motive. Yeah, one
that's
by
right.
one, guys.
That's right.
We'll get you.
Fine. His devotion to Aelin is actually super romantic. I think this is coming from someone who wants to bash him.
I am so curious to see if is his devotion for Aelin thought out or cop out.
That is such a good point.
Who knows? Who knows, guys? It's going to get messy, but I worry that it is going to be one of those things where SJM had too many plots happening and said, I don't have time to develop this relationship. So now they're super in love and perfect.
Yeah. Someone's comment who I've already read said, for me, there's a before and after Rowan in MMCs. I haven't read any others who can top him. I want to take a moment to expand on this comment and what you just said, Jack. To what extent was Rowan conceptualized when SJM was younger as a woman and romanticized what the perfect man should be? And if that is Rowan, who is a doormat, who does whatever Aelin wants, who loves her no matter what, ultimately, that's not a real human being. I know he's Fae, guys, but that's not a personality.
Do you not want someone to challenge you? Do you not want someone to be there? I mean, maybe he does, and I just don't remember. We have so many books to go. But, some of these comments when they're just like, he's perfect. He never quite like he follows her. He does whatever she wants. And it's like, well, that's not really good, is it?
Yeah.
Like to Amy's point, that doesn't exist, not in the sense that these are fictional characters, but in the sense that that's not a developed character.
Exactly. And I think about this all the time. My mom recently was like, I'm going to tell you a hard truth because I don't think Emma ever will.
Can you tell me, or do you want to save it for after?
I don't remember what it was about.
Oh, okay.
And then a couple weeks later, Emma was like, hey, babe, you keep complaining about XYZ. You want to be in better shape. Am I allowed to call you out when you eat something that is not good for your goals?
Yeah.
And I said, yes, please do. Right. And she did it respectfully, but she calls me out. And that's what I want.
That comes with the conversation. Like she handled it respectfully. She handled it fantastically. And it is one of those instances where it's like, you should be able to challenge the person you're with.
Yep.
All right. We're going to have to rapid fire because I need to leave soon. Someone says bird daddy.
Yeah, I saw that.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to list them off. This is from Jessica. 1, Fae culture. Fae are always brutal. That's why that's the way of life. Shouldn't expect him to act human. We talked about it. I still not a reason. 2, not a love interest. He's training her as a warrior. This is also about life or death. They weren't training. 3, I don't mean to be countering every single point.
She just has to go somewhere.
Yeah, I have to leave soon. He did warn her though, LOL. 4, did he warn her, I'm going to punch you? I think he just said, watch it.
Yeah, he just said, watch it.
All right, so did he warn her that he was going to punch her? No. 4, equal treatment, not coddling. See all above points that we've made before this moment.
I appreciate the people who are like, well, he's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on, look at him.
Yeah.
We do have a few of those.
Someone says, so many of us support Rowan because he's a reflection of our own selves. Ooh, because you punch people too.
Or, but is it Rowan, current Rowan, or is it Kingdom of Ash Rowan?
I think that's the hardest things that like times when people have, when like we have comments, they're just like, especially with Dorian, some of the biggest responses were like, well, in Queen of Shadow, I was like, we're not talking about Queen of Shadow.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing that I think that we will be bringing up to people.
Someone says, I think anyone saying anything pro-genocide deserves a punch in the face, no matter age or gender. I mean, yes, I agree, but that doesn't mean we do it.
Yeah, there's that difference of like, do they deserve? Yes. Should we? Ugh.
Yeah.
Someone has a 1, 2, 3. I'm going to answer both just so I know I'm not a true Rowan defender. This is from Rosie. I think we're meant to be like, oh, he doesn't take Aelin shit. She can't charm him her way out of it, or set up brutal Fae warrior vibes. Warm us up to Lorcan. That's a good point.
Rosie says, how dare you make me love you by the end? Good point. By the end.
By the end. All right. Well, that went much longer. Actually, that went the exact time that I thought it would be. But I hope people see the main thing that I want people to take away is that we understand nuance. As we've said multiple times, this made sense to the characters and to the story. 2, this needs to be bad because SJM is going to rebuild him. You cannot rebuild him if it doesn't start at a low point. We as readers have to recognize this is his low point.
Yeah.
And 3, his low point makes sense character-wise. And 4, it's still okay that it's not okay.
Absolutely.
It helps when no one else is on the phone with us.
I was thinking we should do our mini episodes live for our Patreon people as well.
What if we do every once in a while, we have a listener join an episode?
Oh, I love that. I think that's a great idea. And it could be from our Patreon supporters.
Yeah, start with Patreon.
Well, only. We start by inviting any of our trophy wives.
We'll post that next, is saying like, hey, for the next mini, who wants to be in? All right.
Thank you for listening to this mini episode of Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. We encourage you to rate and subscribe to our show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Stick around for Tuesday's episode where we continue our literary analysis of Sarah J. Maas's Heir of Fire.
We would love to hear your thoughts based on today's conversation. You can submit your comments to our forum at booktalkforbooktalk.com, or if you would like to respond to any prompts, like the ones we discussed today, please be sure to follow us on Instagram, where we ask for listener submissions.
If you're enjoying the podcast, please visit our website, booktalkforbooktalk.com, to view our latest merch and learn about supporting the show through Patreon or Venmo. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube at the handle Book Talk for Book Talk. Bye.